Get chilled with Patriot Ice. We are located at 171 South Frontage Road, 775-727-6561.
Israeli airstrikes that were conducted on Sunday, December 31st, resulted in the death of 35 people in central Gaza, according to hospital officials. Just after midnight on New Year's Day, Hamas struck back with a barrage of rockets, targeting southern and central Israel. However, no injuries were reported from the strikes conducted by Hamas. The war has caused a humanitarian crisis that still persists to this day, and according to the United Nations, a quarter of the residents in Gaza are facing starvation. Meanwhile, 85% of Gaza's 2.3 million residents have been displaced from the airstrikes that have been conducted since the beginning of the war, as well as the ground offensive being conducted by Israel, which started on the 27th of October, 2023. According to the health ministry in Gaza, over 21,900 Palestinians have died, as well as over 56,000 being left wounded from the war. However, the health ministry does not differentiate between civilian deaths and combatant deaths. On January 1st, it was announced by the Israeli military that it would be pulling thousands of its troops from the Gaza Strip. Specifically, the army has stated that 5 brigades would be taken out of the region in the coming weeks. It was reported that some will enter bases for further training or rest, while many of the older reservists will be able to return home. According to Israel, the country is close to operational control over the majority of northern Gaza, which has reduced the need of its forces' presence there. However, fighting still continues in other areas of the Gaza Strip, mainly the south, where Israel has moved the majority of its forces due to the nation believing that part of the region is where Hamas leaders are hiding, specifically in Khan Yunis. However, this part of the region is also where the majority of Palestinians have fled to. On January 2nd, Israel made a statement saying that it will defend itself before the United Nations top court, referencing a case that was launched by South Africa on December 29th, which accused Israel of genocide. According to the International Court of Justice at The Hague, in the Netherlands, Israel's military campaign has resulted in enough death, destruction, and humanitarian crisis that it meets the threshold of genocide under international law. South Africa, which has been a critic of Israel's military campaign in Gaza, has compared Israel's policies regarding Palestinians in both Gaza and the West Bank to South Africa's past apartheid regime of racial segregation. While the case would take years, should it go ahead, it was reported that an interim order could be issued within weeks. Meanwhile, Israel has accused South Africa of cooperating with terrorist organization Hamas and added that the residents of Gaza are not an enemy. Israel has also asserted that it takes steps to minimize harm to civilians and to allow humanitarian aid to enter the region of Gaza.